Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased you could join us for the Outstanding Airman of the Year program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our speakers this evening, the keynote speaker, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Khalif O. Wright. And the President of the Air Force Association, Lieutenant General Orville Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, may we ask you to remain seated during the Airman introductions this evening. Welcome to the Outstanding Airman of the Year dinner for 2019. Now, let's meet your Outstanding Airmen for 2019. From the 11th Air Force, stationed at Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson, Alaska, she is the 11th Air Force Paralegal Manager. She led 5 teams in the command's largest military justice arena, servicing 5 wings, 26 sites, and 55,000 clients. As the staff superintendent and acting first sergeant, she guided 380 mission partners through 320 joint taskers, linking critical mission gaps. She excelled as a senior enlisted advisor during a commander-directed investigation. She executed exercises to assess a $21 million security contract that authenticated safeguards of $3 billion in the protection-level assets that ensured the safe return of 26 defenders to home station. Her leadership to 535 peers and 800 junior leaders culminated in her recognition as the Pacific Air Force's Lance P. Saigon recipient. Accompanied by Chief Master Sergeant Charles McDaniel, Senior Master Sergeant Silvitris Longwani. From the 5th Civil Engineer Squadron, stationed at Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, he is the Heavy Repair Superintendent. He led 28 multi-craft airmen in the daily maintenance of Syria's sole austere C-17A capable semi-prepared landing zone. His efforts delivered 7,900 warfighters, ensured 900 combat sorties, and the immediate reception and deployment of 8,900 tons of mission-essential cargo directly supporting Operation Inherent Resolve. He expertly identified critical airfield deficiencies and established courses of action to ensure a line of communications remained open throughout the region during the Battle of Al Raqqa. He also managed 32 projects valued at $3.7 million in support of the Special Operations Joint Task Force Syria. Accompanied by his spouse, Joanna McAlpin, Senior Master Sergeant Philip McAlpin, Jr. From the 99th Civil Engineer Squadron stationed at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, he is the Deputy Fire Chief. He led 124 firefighters at the busiest airfield in the command, providing command and control capabilities for 1,400 emergencies. While leading the best training program in the wing, he secured 624 manpower days to support the America's largest multi-nation exercises. As the Air Force's Innovator of the Year, he built a standardized business platform to conduct all daily fire operations at 47 bases. He pioneered an expeditionary tasking aid, syncing available posturing to 99 multinational personnel in support of 1,200 combat sorties. Simultaneously, he finished his master's degree in organizational leadership and published a 287-page book on enlisted force growth. Accompanied by Alexa Eisenberg, Senior Master Sergeant Andrew Keel. From the 78th Security Forces Squadron stationed at Robins Air Force Base, Georgia, he is the Operations Flight Chief. He directs 25 military and civilian personnel in developing and maintaining security plans for the protection of $18.7 billion in assets and 24,000 personnel. His expertise in law enforcement and security proved evident in his leadership of 85 personnel during 64 patrol responses that netted 32 criminals. While deployed as a combat arms program manager, he streamlined the movement of 1,500 weapons in 48 hours, aiding the success of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization airstrikes against Syria. A true wingman, he sustained injuries during a vehicle rollover where he quickly reacted to save the lives of 6 other airmen. Accompanied by his spouse, Paula Brown, Master Sergeant Jahara Brown. From the 166th Communications Flight stationed at Newcastle National Guard Base, Delaware, he is the Radio Frequency Transmission Systems NCOIC. His innovation saved the 166th Airlift Wing over 1,000 man-hours, regaining over 550 training hours. His efforts in the Quality Assurance Program automated processes and eliminated redundancies, increasing evaluation output by 200% and overcoming a major unit effectiveness inspection deficiency. As the unit training manager, he created a new workflow and developed a database system which led to a 70% drop in overdue training. He crafted a vital analysis tool that captures major wing level deficiency trends and arms leadership with key metrics to enable critical decision-making capabilities. Accompanied by his spouse, Daniela Merrilees, Technical Sergeant Andrew Merrilees. From the 320th Special Tactics Squadron stationed at Kadena Air Base, Japan, he is the Special Tactics Team Element Leader. He's seamlessly embedded with the Secret Service and Joint Special Operation Forces as part of a President of the United States protection team, ensuring safety and security during the first United States and North Korea negotiation summit in history. While on temporary duty, he charged into a burning vehicle in South Korea where he extracted an injured civilian and successfully performed life-saving procedures. Additionally, he played an instrumental role in the Thailand cave rescue mission. He was essential in creating the rescue plan, which placed himself as the furthest American inside the cave. During the mission, he also led the effort to receive, retrieve, and successfully resuscitate a Thai Navy SEAL. His team's heroic efforts led to the life-saving rescue of 13 Thai civilians. accompanied by his spouse, Tiffany O'Brien, Technical Sergeant Kenneth O'Brien. From the 50th Comptroller Squadron, stationed at Schriever Air Force Base, Colorado, she is the Financial Analysis Non-Commissioned Officer in charge. She skillfully managed the 50th Space Wing's $3 million reimbursement program, surpassing 5 command metrics, which led directly to Team Schriever's #1 ranking across Air Force Space Command. Her superior analytical skills proved pivotal in vaulting the Installation Mission Support Center's obligation rate to $24 million, a 93% surge from the prior year. Her actions drove the execution of 15 construction projects, integrating joint operations for 2 combatant commands. Furthermore, her leadership elevated her team and delivered the Comptroller Organization and the Financial Analysis Flight of the Year for Space Command. Accompanied by Technical Sergeant Kevin Swope, Technical Sergeant Ina Lvova. From the 628th Logistics Readiness Squadron, stationed at Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina, he is the Forward Area Refueling Point Program Manager. He was a critical member of the crew that enabled Special Operation Task Forces to conduct raids against high-level targets during Operation Freedom's Sentinel. He flew 35 combat missions totaling 133 hours and transferred 283,000 pounds of fuel. Additionally, he used his extensive FARP knowledge to expedite emergency repairs on $500,000 worth of Air Force Special Operation Command equipment. Sergeant Subi also led a presidentially approved operation where he refueled 28 aircraft, ensuring mission success, resulting in 6 enemies killed in action. Accompanied by his spouse, Allie Stubbe, Staff Sergeant Christopher Stubbe. From the 19th Space Operations Squadron, stationed at Schriever Air Force Base, Colorado, she is the Satellite Systems Operator and Orbital Analysis Technician. She qualified as the second reservist to certify as an orbital analyst in support of the $7.5 billion Global Positioning System 35 satellite constellation. Additionally, she participated in a 3-day exercise and developed a 240-step procedure for the first ever Block 2R satellite disposal. She advised a 70-member contractor team in the validation of launch and early orbit processes, as well as identifying and correcting severe training deficiencies prior to the first GPS Block 3 launch. These efforts led to 235 critiques for the next generation technical order, driving over 200 modifications and 3 major risks associated with the command and control system, which culminated in the redesign of its maneuver planning interface. Accompanied by her spouse, Drew Frederick, Staff Sergeant Karen Frederick. From the 81st Medical Support Squadron, stationed at Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, he is a medical material technician. As a senior airman, he led the Wing's flu vaccine program by securing 190,000 doses and coordinating with 4 agencies, ensuring immunizations for 3 Department of Defense sites 5 weeks early. He secured a cross-command leech treatment transfer within 24 hours, avoiding a 2-week patient care delay, ultimately saving a patient's limb. He designed training for 29 accounts, briefing 3 acquisition processes to 96 customers, cutting 1,500 errors and decreasing delivery time from 7 days to 1. He balanced cost center operations, certifying 44 Air National Guard and Air Force Reserve accounts worth $670 million, supporting one of 3 national disaster response teams, accompanied by his brother, Senior Airman Bryce Larkin, Staff Sergeant Gary Jeffrey III. From the 52nd Aerospace Medicine Squadron, she is stationed at Spangdahlem Air Base, Germany. She is a public health technician. She managed the Preventative Health Assessment Program for 21 units, reviewing 1,800 medical records, validating 21,600 requirements. Her efforts led to a 99.4% compliance rate, culminating in the 52nd Medical Group earning the #1 rating in USAFE. Additionally, as the group's liaison for Trident Juncture, she readied 321 members, validated 4,000 individual medical requirements, enabling 209 joint sorties, vital to the execution of the United States and North Atlantic Treaty Organization's largest exercise since the Cold War. Furthermore, Airman Richmond completed a food vulnerability assessment safeguarding a $65 million food supply. Accompanied by her mother, Carol Denise Turner, Senior Airman Misty Richmond. From the 11th Civil Engineer Squadron, he is stationed at Joint Base Andrews, Maryland. He is a fire and emergency services driver and operator. He is the lead trainer for 25 assigned shift personnel. An expert at his craft, he responded to 11 motor vehicle accidents, 7 suspicious package emergencies, and 4 fires, safeguarding 16,000 personnel. As a staff assistant, he scrutinized 53 training records and corrected 231 errors, realigning the flight within Air Force instructions and validating the department's 2018 accreditation selection. Airman Starks received the first ever military Honeywell scholarship from the International Association of Fire Chiefs, which showcased firefighter training across the enterprise. He completed his master's degree in public administration with a 3.9 GPA and authored 2 books on investing and finance. Accompanied by his spouse, Danielle Starks, Senior Airman Justin Starks. Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, the pride of the United States Air Force, our Outstanding Airman of the Year for 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let's hear it for our Outstanding Airman of the Year for 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem, performed by the official chorus of the United States Air Force, the Singing Sergeants, under the direction of their commander and conductor, Colonel Don Schofield.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Colonel Schofield. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The men and women of the United States Air Force Honor Guard travel around the world personifying discipline, precision, and teamwork, cornerstones of our Air Force. Please help me thank them for being here tonight. And now please welcome the President of the Air Force Association, Lieutenant General Orville Wright.
Well, welcome, and what an incredible evening. If hearing about these incredible airmen doesn't fire you up, I'm not sure you're still breathing. So thank you very much for being here, and once again to honor those airmen who I believe lead the most lethal force in the world. We should also recognize tonight our corporate supporters who made this event possible with their support and financial contributions. We're grateful to all of them. One deserves special recognition. Lockheed Martin, for your support of the Outstanding Airman of the Year activities. Your generous support also allows us to present lifetime Air Force Association memberships to our 12 airmen. Will Mrs. Marilyn Houston, Chairman, President, and Chief Executive Officer of Lockheed Martin, please stand and be recognized. We also express our sincere thanks to Palantir for providing the wine for this evening. It is truly an honor to be here with these amazing airmen this evening. They are, as you all know, a select group of professionals whose passion and dedication have earned them the highest accolades. Most people don't know that this was an initiative of my predecessor, former AFA Executive Director James H. Straubel, to create this program, and it started in 1956 as a way to highlight the inadequate pay and allowances, especially for the enlisted members of the armed forces. Originally, one person was selected from each command and each operating agency until 1970, when the number was limited to the golden dozen. 2019 marks the 63rd anniversary, over 6 decades, of our Air Force Association's Outstanding Airman of the Year program. We are so very proud of this program's distinguished alumni, many of whom have gone on to serve in the most senior leadership positions in our Air Force. In fact, a number of the Chief Master Sergeants of the Air Force are alumni of this program. Tonight, thank you for being here as we honor the 2019 Outstanding Airman of the Year, and to help us do that, I am proud to introduce our Master of Ceremonies from the Secretary of the Air Force's Directorate of Legislative Liaison, stationed at the Pentagon, and one of the 20 Outstanding Airmen of the Year, Senior Master Sergeant Lucero Stockett. You're bailing me out.
Good evening, everyone. For our invocation, we call on the Air Force Deputy Chief of Chaplains, Chaplain Brigadier General Ronald Harvell.
It's a great honor to be here tonight. What a thrill. Happy birthday, Air Force. Is anybody happy birthday, Air Force? What a great privilege we have today. We're going to pray for these 12 airmen and ask God's blessings upon them and their families, and for this event tonight. Let's pray. Loving God, as we celebrate our 12 outstanding airmen, we thank you for the lives. We thank you for the sacrifices. We thank you for the years of service and the commitment that they have to excellence. And we ask your blessings upon tonight's ceremony and upon this meal. We thank you for Senior Airman Misty Richmond. We thank you for Senior Airman Justin Starks. We thank you for Staff Sergeant Karen Frederick. We thank you, Lord, for Staff Sergeant Gary Jeffrey III, for Staff Sergeant Christopher Stubbe, for Tech Sergeant Ina Lavova, for Tech Sergeant Andrew Marilise, for Tech Sergeant Kenneth O'Brien, for Master Sergeant Jahara Brown, for Senior Master Sergeant Silvitris Longwani, for Senior Master Sergeant Andrew Keel, and for Senior Master Sergeant Philip McAlpin. Lord, we've heard their stories tonight of how their work and excellence, their ingenuity, their commitment has changed the landscape of our Air Force for good. And we thank you for that. And we thank you, Lord, that you have honored their sacrifices and their work, and that, Lord, you would bring greater freedom for our country and our world because of their efforts and the efforts of their team. But Lord, we didn't hear that much tonight, but we see it in their reports of all the things that they've done as volunteers to positively influence the community and lives of those on their bases and outside. For their sacrifices, for their service, for their commitment, Lord, goes even beyond their work to the spirit of who they are and loving and caring both for their airmen and for mankind. Lord, tonight we acknowledge that every good and perfect gift is from you, and we thank you for these so gifted who have used their gifts for good. Thank you for their families. Thank you for their teams and for the difference they have made for our Air Force. Lord, thank you for the United States Air Force. Bless our ceremony tonight. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Harvell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Air Force Association's Salute to Our Air Force's 12 Outstanding Airmen. There's a lot more to come, but in the meantime, please enjoy your dinner while you listen to the sounds of the Air Force Strings. The Air Force Strings consist of 20 active duty airmen musicians performing a wide range of musical styles, from classical symphonic selections and Broadway show tunes to classic rock, bluegrass, and patriotic compositions. The ensemble often entertains audiences at high-level military and government events in a formation known as the Strolling Strings. Providing a multidimensional experience, the instrumentalists surround the audience performing from memory without the aid of a conductor. As part of the United States Air Force Band, the Air Force Strings honors all of those who serve in special recognition of the stellar achievements of this year's 12 Outstanding Airmen. The Air Force Strings are proud to perform for us tonight. The Strings are under the direction of Chief Master Sergeant Deborah Volker. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Please take your seats. We're about to begin the remainder of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the podium our Master of Ceremonies, Senior Master Sergeant Lucero Stockett.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Air Force Association Annual Outstanding Airman Dinner. It is my distinct privilege to introduce a few of our guests who have come to honor the 2019 Outstanding Airmen. Today's Air Force is fortunate to have strong leaders who are passionate about our most important and decisive asset, our great airmen and their families. The United States Air Force remains heavily engaged in operations around the world while continuing to focus on balancing our force to meet today's demanding mission. It takes exceptional leadership to direct air, space, and cyberspace activities and respond to worldwide contingencies. Our Air Force and Airmen are blessed with leaders of the highest moral character and selfless dedication who possess incredible vision and are committed to excellence. It is my privilege to introduce the leaders of the Air Force Association, the Chairman of the Board and the 19th Secretary of the United States Air Force, the Honorable F. Whitten Peters and Kathleen Peters. The President of the Air Force Association, Lieutenant General Orville Wright and Carrie Wright. Next, we welcome the leadership of your Air Force. Please welcome the Acting Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Matthew Donovan. The Air Force Chief of Staff, General David Goldfein and Don Goldfein. The Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force and our keynote speaker tonight, Chief Khalid O. Wright. We have some of the Air Force's most distinguished leaders here with us this evening. With the commanders of U.S. Space Command, U.S. Transportation Command, Northern Command, and the Chief of the National Guard Bureau, all of the MATCOM commanders, and the National Commander of Civil Air Patrol, please stand to be recognized. "2019 marks the 63rd year that AFA has assisted the Air Force in presenting this distinguished award program. We are honored to have some of the former Outstanding Airmen of the Year in the audience this evening. Would all former Outstanding Airmen of the Year please stand and be recognized? Tonight is only part of the Outstanding Airman program. On Saturday, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force and his wife hosted these outstanding airmen and their guests at the Airy House. Yesterday, AFA provided a personalized VIP tour of Arlington National Cemetery and Washington, D.C. They will attend some conference forums, meet members of Congress and their staffs, and tour the Pentagon. While the Air Force claims some credit for the exceptional abilities of our 12 outstanding airmen, the truth is, most of the core values and standards of excellence began and continue in the home. The nation owes a debt of gratitude to the parents, spouses, and family members of our 12 outstanding airmen, some of whom are with us this evening. Will you two please stand and be recognized? This is a proud moment for our honorees. It is also a proud moment for our Air Force. Through their many achievements, these airmen have set new standards for themselves, fellow airmen, and the United States Air Force. Each will tell you that success is not an individual achievement, but the product of superb airmen working as a team. The 12 outstanding airmen recognized here tonight personify the very essence of what we strive for. They are brave airmen, model citizens, and they serve our nation with honor and distinction. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Air Force Association for helping us to recognize our outstanding men and women of the United States Air Force, not just this year, but for over 63 years. AFA provides this wonderful forum to recognize our outstanding airmen, and they also provide the means and this magnificent venue to do it. We are sincerely grateful for all the association does for our Air Force. Will AFA's Chairman of the Board, F. Whitten Peters, please come forward to present awards to the Outstanding Airmen of the Year for 2019. And to assist with the presentation of the awards, will Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Wright also please come forward? Would Lockheed Martin's Ms. Marilyn Houston please come forward to say a few words and to co-present Air Force Association lifetime memberships?
Well, good evening. It's truly an honor to be with you tonight to join in the recognition of our nation's top airmen. Tonight, we celebrate their achievements, excellence, and service to our nation. I'd like to begin by acknowledging some of the senior leaders in attendance tonight: Secretary Donovan, General Goldfein, Chief Wright, the Honorable Whit Peters, and General Wright. I thank you all for your outstanding leadership and your tireless efforts to ensure that the United States Air Force remains the leading, most technologically advanced Air Force in the world. At Lockheed Martin, we are deeply honored to be your industry partners. We take great pride in providing airmen with many of the capabilities and solutions they need to carry out the Air Force mission to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace. From World War I and the earliest days of military aviation to fifth-generation fighters and into the final frontier, Lockheed Martin has proudly helped our nation's airmen achieve victory in war and maintain leadership in peace. We also recognize that America's technological superiority can never be taken for granted. Maintaining our nation's competitive advantage requires constant vigilance, innovation, and collaboration. With the Air Force and industry working together, We are anticipating the threats of the future, and we are developing the technologies and capabilities that will ensure continued dominance in every domain of warfare. Our nation's top airmen, the men and women who we recognize here tonight, are at the vanguard of these shared efforts. We are succeeding because of their dedicated focus, superior leadership, and outstanding performance. So on behalf of the 105,000 men and women of Lockheed Martin, I applaud each of the 12 individuals for earning your place among America's Outstanding Airmen of the Year. And to further recognize your contributions and achievements, it is my distinct pleasure to present each airman honored tonight with a lifetime membership to the Air Force Association, compliments of your partners at Lockheed Martin. We are grateful for the trust that you place in us because we believe your mission is ours. Finally, I would like to extend a special thank you to the families of tonight's awardees for the sacrifices that you've made to support them throughout their faithful service to the nation. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Senior Master Sergeant Silvitris Longwani was nominated by Pacific Air Forces. Senior Master Sergeant Philip McAlpin was nominated by Air Force Global Strike Command. Senior Master Sergeant Andrew Keel was nominated by Air Combat Command. Master Sergeant Jahara Brown was nominated by Air Force Materiel Command. Technical Sergeant Andrew Merrilees was nominated by the Air National Guard. Technical Sergeant Kenneth O'Brien was nominated by Air Force Special Operations Command. Technical Sergeant Ina Lvova was nominated by Air Force Space Command. Staff Sergeant Christopher Stubbe was nominated by Air Mobility Command. Staff Sergeant Karen Frederick was nominated by Air Force Reserve Command. Staff Sergeant Gary Jeffrey III was nominated by the Air Education and Training Command. Senior Airman Misty Richmond was nominated by the United States Air Forces in Europe. Senior Airman Justin Starks was nominated by the Air Force District of Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the 2019 Outstanding Airman of the Year.
Yeah, you could stay. Thank you, Chairman Peters and Ms. Houston. Again, we are grateful for AFS's tremendous support. Tonight, because of that support, we are able to honor these very talented airmen. By every measure, they have excelled beyond expectation. Now, I would like to introduce tonight's keynote speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Khalith O'Wright.
Well, as always, I'm honored to be here, and I'd like to say welcome to the AFA leadership. So General Wright, how could I mess that up? We have the same last name. Lieutenant General Wright and the Honorable Peters, to our Air Force leadership, Acting Secretary Donovan, and of course, my wingman, General Goldfein and Mrs. Dawn. He's not necessarily a VIP, but there's another special guest here, at least special in my book, that I'd like to recognize amongst all of the great leaders and everyone that's here, too many to name, but certainly many great friends and colleagues that I've had an opportunity to work with, but one stands out, and that's Major General retired Joe Boo McMullen, who is a personal friend and a person that I used to work for in Afghanistan and share a special bond with. So thank you, sir. I saw you here somewhere earlier, but it's great to have you here, so thank you for coming. As always, I'm interested in, you heard about all of the great things that these airmen have accomplished during the last year, and no doubt they've been doing this. They didn't start last year. So they've been accomplished and successful airmen undoubtedly throughout their career. So I'm always looking for, hey, what are some of the keys to success? And one of the easiest ways to find out things you want to know is ask. So I asked each of them, hey, tell me, I'm interested, tell me, how did you get here? What were some of the keys to success? And I got a bunch of different answers, but I got three that intrigued me that I thought were worth sharing, and I like to share them with you. I got one from a senior NCO, one from an airman, and one from an NCO, and I'll let you decide which one is from which. So the first, and I'm going to read these because I want to make sure that they get credit for what they actually said. So the first person I asked, they said the key to their success was documents. I quote, "Never walk down the hall without a document in your hand." People with documents in their hands look like hard-working airmen headed for important meetings. People with nothing in their hands look like they are headed for the break room. People with newspapers in their hands look like they are headed for the bathroom. Above all, make sure you carry loads of stuff home with you at night, thus generating false impressions that you work longer hours than you do. Okay? The second answer I got was computers. I quote, use computers to look busy. Anytime you use a computer, it looks like work to the casual observer. You can scroll through Facebook, Instagram, dating sites, calculate your finances, or even buy a house and have a blast without doing anything remotely close to work. When you get caught by your boss, and you will get caught, the best defense is to claim you are teaching yourself the new software, thus saving valuable training dollars. You're not a loafer, you're a self-starter. Offer to show your boss what you learned, and they will likely scurry away pretty quickly. And the third answer I got was, Chief, my key to success is a messy desk. Commanders and chiefs can get away with a clean desk, but for the rest of us, it looks like we're not working hard enough. Build huge piles of documents around your workspaces. To the casual observer, last year's work looks the same as today's work. It's volume that counts. Pile them high, pile them wide. And if you know somebody is coming to your cubicle, bury the leave form or the EPR halfway down an existing stack and rummage for it when he or she arrives. I thought that was some pretty good advice. But as we all know, there really are no keys to success. But I thought I'd pass along a few things maybe that each of you should think about as you continue your journey of being our 12 Outstanding Airmen of the Year and beyond. These three things include: you must be humble, you should practice excellence every single day, and you must lift as you climb. John Ruskin said that he believed the first test of any great man is humility. And so what I would tell you is, we've treated you up to this point and the rest of this week and really for the rest of this year like kings and queens. And the great treatment will keep on coming and the expectations will be high. Don't let it go to your head. Never forget where you came from. If you ever had the opportunity, and most of the Air Force spends more time in my office than I do, because I'm always on the road. But if you ever get an opportunity to step in my office, it's filled just like any other chief's or general's office with a ton of plaques and pictures and swords and helmets and coins and everything you can think of. But on the wall, there's a very small plaque. It'll be hard to see if you're not looking for it. It has one stripe at the top, a chief stripe at the bottom, and in the middle it says, "Never forget where you came from." And so I would encourage you, as you receive all the attention, to make sure you keep this in perspective. Never forget where you came from. Never forget what it's like to be an airman. Never forget what it's like to struggle a little bit. Never forget what it's like to be at the bottom of the totem pole as you have now risen to the top. So being humble is one thing, and being humble and a 12 Outstanding Airman of the Year means you're pretty good. But I always say, if better is possible, good is never enough. I think you should wake up every morning, and when your feet hit the floor, you should ask yourself, how can I be great today? Not just do enough to get by, not just good, but how can I be great today? I'd love for you to eliminate these words from your mind, then from your vocabulary, and then from your actions. That's good enough. If better is possible, good is never enough. After all, excellence is one of our core values. I'm reminded of Admiral McCraven during a speech at University of Texas where he talked about making his bed every day that he learned when he was in BUDS training. I don't get to make my bed every day. My wife wakes up a little bit later than me. But my feat of excellence in honor of Admiral McCraven's theory is I clean my sink every day. Shave my head, shave my face. The sink is all dirty, spots on the mirror, so on and so forth. The spouses know what I'm talking about. And I won't leave. I won't leave a lodging room. I won't leave my own home until it's spick and span. And that's my way of beginning every single day with a bit of excellence. So excellence and humility are really only 2/3 of the equation. I think maybe the more important part of this journey and your responsibility as the best of the best is to lift as you climb. See, oftentimes we say stuff like, when I become a chief, then I'm going to do this. When I make general, then I'm going to do this. And I say, do it now. Don't wait until you get to the top of the ladder to try to pull your fellow airmen up. Every time you take a step forward, you reach back and you take somebody with you. Every time you learn something, you share it with your fellow airmen. You should ask yourself, who is the next great defender? The next great fire dog? The next great POL airman or comptroller? The next great PJ? The next great public health specialist, space operator, paralegal, dirt boy, communication systems airman, logistician? You know, I often talk about someone that I admire, W.E.B. Du Bois, who is a famous historian, and he talks about the talented 10th, that the top 10% of our society is responsible for the development, the teaching, the training of the rest of us. And he says, all great organizations will be saved by its exceptional men. You are our exceptional airmen. And it's up to you to educate, to teach, to train, to motivate, to inspire all of those who are coming behind you, to inspire that next generation of 12 outstanding airmen. And if you're like most of us, you might be asking yourself, Chief, in this state we find ourselves as an Air Force with so much mission and so few people, when might I find the time? What I tell you is, we all find the time for things that we believe to be important. There's always time for teaching. There's always time for training. There's always time for mentoring. There's always time for lifting up those who helped you get to where you are. So the time is always now. So remember, there are no real keys to success, but if you can remember to be humble, practice excellence, and lift as you climb, I think you will all be just fine. A guy by the name of Quentin Crisp had some advice for each of you that I think would be fitting as we end this evening when it comes to success. And Mr. Crisp says, if at first you don't succeed, then failure might just be your style. Who knows? Thank you, AFA. Thank you to all of our 12 outstanding airmen. Thank you to all of the friends and family who came to support them. Once again, this has been an amazing event. Thank you to all of our industry partners for all of the sponsorship, and particularly to Lockheed Martin for the lifetime memberships for these airmen. We appreciate you, we love you, and enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Wright. And now, for our entertainment this evening, please welcome to the stage your United States Air Force Band, Max Impact, under the direction of Senior Master Sergeant Matt Ascione.
Let's give it up for our 12 Outstanding Airmen of the Year! Make some noise! This is a patriotic favorite that you all know and love, but we've added a little extra flair just for you all tonight. Put your hands together just like this. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. To thee we sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. Woo! Our Father God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Oh, may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might. Let freedom ring. Yeah! Let's hear it for freedom. Let freedom ring. May all these words be true to you. All those whose hearts are tried and true, join in the final letter ring. Yeah. We and our hearts go hand in hand for those who know to make a stand on such a freedom. Letter ring. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your United States Air Force Band Rhythm Section! My country, 'tis of thee sweet land of liberty, to thee we sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride. Come on! Let freedom ring. 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 Thank you. As members of the United States Air Force, you've all experienced firsthand the challenges that come with military service. Whether it's being away from your loved ones, a PCS, or a deployment, these obstacles will make us stronger in the end. Ladies and gentlemen, this song serves as a reminder that with a little courage and determination, you can overcome adversity and you can achieve your goals and dreams. So we'd like to present to you, for the very first time at AFA, here's Into the Sun. Top of that mountain seems a million miles away. You gotta start somewhere. And I know the air is thin, to breathe. Courage will take you there. Step by step, a little closer every day. Don't stop, you're gonna fly into the sun. Don't turn away, stare as long as you can. That's where dreams are made. Believe in yourself, and the flame won't fade. Don't stop, you're gonna fly into the sun. That's where dreams are made. Believe in yourself, and the flame won't fade. Don't stop, you're gonna fly into the sun, into the sun, yeah, yeah. Don't stop, you're gonna fly. Thank you so much. And you can download all of our original music for free at music.af.mil. Feel free to follow us on social media at USAF Band. In honor of our 12 Outstanding Airmen of the Year, we'd like to perform one more song. It's Airmen like you that inspire us to carry out our mission every day, and the only way we really know how to say thank you is through music. So this song was written to highlight every aspect of what it means to be an American Airman. I'm an American Airman. I will fight for freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the singing of our Air Force song.